the Riley Avenue Kindergarten Orientation. We're very excited to have all of our new students here, and I want to welcome any new families to the Riley family, and I want to welcome all returning families. We're very excited to have our students with us again. I'm going to be sharing my screen with a presentation a little bit later in the presentation. I'm going to be introducing you to our Parents Association, and I'm going to be inviting them on the screen as well. But before we do the presentation, I'd like to introduce, I'm Mrs. Grimm, the Assistant Principal at Riley Avenue Elementary School. And we have with us Marissa Siddick, one of the kindergarten teachers. Just give us a wave as I introduce you. Kelly Thompson, another kindergarten teacher. We have Alicia O'Connor, our kindergarten teacher. Dr. Casamassa, our ELA director. We have Tammy Hardison and Deb Mitchell, our speech therapists, and Catherine Goskowitz, our school psychologist. And Lauren Dupre is there as well, one of our ENL teachers. Her camera must not be working at this point. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see that? Can everyone see the presentation? Just give me a thumbs up, a nod. Okay. So welcome to Riley Avenue. Mr. Enos wasn't able to be with us today. He's our school principal, and myself, I'm your assistant principal, and the office telephone number is 369-6804. If you need to call us for any reason, you can certainly call that number. This program is a two-part program. It used to be a three-part program. The first part, we're going to welcome, we're welcoming you and introducing some of our faculty and staff. The distance learning site is, I'm going to open it up. This is the site. Hopefully you already visited this site because you got here to the kindergarten orientation. This site will have a lot of different information for you. And if you continue to go back to this site, all the announcements will be here. We have our reopening guide here that you could just click on, and that will give you all information about our arrival. The arrival, if you're going to do parent drop-off, will be at the west side of our building, and there'll be a security guard there as you pull up to the curb, and the students will need to get out of the car with a mask, and they will have their temperature taken before they get out of the car. There'll be plenty of faculty and staff along the walkway helping the children distance as they walk into the school. We will have students arriving by bus at the other end of the school by our kindergarten wing, which is on the other side of the school. 8:50 is the drop-off, as well as when the students get off the bus. And if they're taking the bus, they'll have their temperature taken before they get off the bus. There'll also be many staff members there helping your students social distance as well. This also gives a lot of different information for you. So if you read through this, it talks about in the classroom, breakfast and lunch, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through the presentation. Okay, so we need to get back to our, can you see my presentation again or no? No. Okay, we're back to the presentation. Can everybody see this? Thumbs up? Yes? Okay. So the transportation we're going to go through, the faculty we'll introduce you to, and part 2 is going to be a virtual classroom visit. I'm just going to take you to this, you're going to be talking to the kindergarten teachers later on, but I'm just going to give you a little tour that was created by our art teachers. So this is the front of our school. You can view this online. So this is videos coming into school, getting dropped off at school, and it gives you an idea of what it looks like when your children get here. This is what it looks like in our hallways lining up. This is what our classrooms, this is just a sample of one of our classrooms. Students will be putting their backpacks on the back of their chairs.
I'm sorry, Ms. Grimm, we only see your PowerPoint. We don't see any pictures. Should we be able to see pictures right now?
Oh, you don't see, okay. You don't see a virtual classroom? Yeah, let me see.
No, did you? Yeah, that's what you have to do. Now we see it.
Okay, because I have a double screen. Let me go
Right.
back. Let me see if I can go back to the, yeah, sorry about that because I have a double screen. So this presentation is also on our virtual classroom. We have a virtual classroom as well. On the distance learning page, this is where I explain that you'll find a lot of information. This was created by our fabulous art teacher, and one of our second grade classroom teachers, Mrs. McDonald, helped out with the videos as well. So I want to thank them for that. And this gives you an idea, a video about coming to school on the bus, getting dropped off in a car. So you can watch this at a later date. And this gives you an idea of what it's going to look like when the students get here. This is in the hallway. There'll be lines in the hallway, so students will be coming in and standing. There'll be arrows and lines, so they'll know which way to go. And our newest kindergarten students will be guided by many staff members. This is a picture of what one of our classrooms look like. This is just a sample of what they look like. Every student is 6 feet apart, and the students are going to be putting their backpacks on the chairs, and all the students will keep their mask on until they get a mask break. All students will be getting a mask break every 30 minutes, and they will be, you know, taking their masks off when they eat lunch, breakfast, snack, and sometimes outside when they're 12 feet away for physical education. When they're in the cafeteria, we now have free breakfast and lunch for all of our students. So if your student, every student is going to be 6 feet away as they walk through the cafeteria line. They're going to be eating in the cafeteria for lunch, and they'll wear their mask to lunch, and then they'll be sitting at the cafeteria tables 6 feet away. And this gives you an idea if you watch the video. And that's the end of this. So I'm going to move that over there. At your leisure, please feel free to go back and watch that. And then we have, you're going to meet the Parents Association, and then our kindergarten teachers are going to provide you with the most important information later on in the presentation. Our support staff, our main office is Mrs. Horton and Mrs. Alcantara. Our nurse's office, we have our nurse Kathy, Mrs. Rosenstock. So if you have any medications, you can, students cannot bring them to school. They have to be brought to school ahead of time, and they have to be brought with a prescription for the nurse's office. If you have any questions regarding that, you could certainly call Nurse Kathy. And if you have any questions on drop off or pick up every day, if you're picking up every day, there's forms to fill out, and you have to submit your license or whoever ID is picking up the children at the end of the day. Our reading department is Mrs. Cunningham, Mrs. Amadimo, and Mrs. Good. Our E&L department is Ms. Engels, Ms. Anderson, and Mrs. Dupre. Our special education CT resource teacher is Ms. Leah. Our math specialist is Mrs. Wallace. And our teaching assistants, our kindergarten teaching assistants are Mrs. Allen, Mrs. Owen, and Mrs. Gould. I think Mrs. Owen was on the call with Mrs. O'Connor. Our social worker is Janine Mastropolo, and our school psychologist was with us today, Catherine Goskowitz or Catherine Fitzpatrick. Either, I guess, either one is the way she will be identified. Kindergarten classrooms. Students have been placed in 3 color-coded rooms for the first few weeks. So there's 3 different colors, which is room 2 is blue, room 3 is green, and room 5 is yellow. And then your child is placed in cohorts, 2 cohorts. Cohort 1 is blue, cohort 2 is yellow. And you have received a tag in your mailing, and those tags need to go on to the child's backpack. If your child is put on the bus on the wrong day or dropped off, people will be able to clearly identify if they are supposed to be in school. Monday and Tuesday is cohort 1. Thursday and Friday is cohort 2. This week, cohort 1 starts on Thursday and cohort 2 starts on Friday. After Labor Day, cohort 1 is going to continue on Tuesday and every Monday and Tuesday except holidays, and cohort 2 will be every Thursday and Friday except for holidays. Kindergarten screening will take place during the first few weeks of school. We will have a host of teachers, reading teachers, E&L teachers, and classroom teachers helping out with the kindergarten screening. Usually we do this at the end of the year. Unfortunately, due to this unprecedented situation, we're going to be screening them at the first 2 weeks. At the conclusion of the screening process, the students will be placed in classrooms, and then we will send a letter from the classroom teacher. I'm going to let in our Parents Association at this point because I'd like to introduce them. Again. Okay. I'm promoting some of our people here. If I can find Nicole Gigante was here. Oh, there she is. Nicole Gigante is our Parents Association co-president, and I am going to stop sharing for 1 minute so that I can introduce you to her. Nicole, can you show us your picture?
There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm so dark though. I don't like that. Let me see if I can move. All right.
Do we have any other board members with us?
Yes, I know Leslie is with us and Carrie is also with us.
Does Leslie have a different screen name? I see Carrie. I'll promote Carrie.
There we go.
Is Leslie, does she have a different?
I'm wondering if she's either under Les 13 or under Jordan's name. I don't know which one she signed in with. She's under Hartman. Do you see her under Leslie Hartman?
Yes. So if you want to introduce the board members, Nicole. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you. I appreciate the time for giving us this time to do this at this point in time of the school year. We wanted to, say thank you and welcome to all of the new and the returning parents. Our officers this year, myself, Nicole Gigante, I'm going to be the co-president and co-treasurer. We have Leslie Kwasna, who's going to be my co-president. We have Allison Brabant, who is going to be the vice president and the co-treasurer. Unfortunately, she was unable to attend today. We have Caroline Gastaldo, who's going to be our recording secretary. And we have Carrie Von Voigt, who is our corresponding secretary, who is here with us today. We wanted to just give out some very important information, as we always get excited when we have new parents coming in with students. And we want to let you know that as a PTO, we are here to support the educational experience of all of the students at Riley Avenue. We help to provide programs, supplies, activities, and events that might not otherwise be provided by the district. We do this by running fundraisers throughout the school year. We're going to get to the fundraisers in a minute, but we want to invite each and every one of you to our meetings. This year, we are going to go with the flow, and we're going to have all of our monthly meetings done virtually. We're looking at doing them through Zoom. The only thing we're looking at, and if anybody has ideas, we're always open to them. We want to have a platform that will be beneficial to the parents and families who are Spanish speaking, so that we can either provide them with translation or closed captioning in Spanish or something, so that they can join us on as many of these meetings as they possibly are able to. We want to include everybody. Every Riley family is invited to this, and we want everybody to have access to it. So those will be monthly, and the first meeting is going to be on October 1st at 7 p.m. You will all be receiving a parent welcome letter. In that welcome letter, we are going to be introducing a new communication platform called Class Tag. This will allow everybody to receive notifications from us, whereas in the past we would put out paper flyers in backpacks in the teachers' mailboxes, but this year we are not going to do paper. We are going to strictly rely on the electronic communications, and it can be accessed via an app on your phone or on a website. And in order to get signed up for it, we have a Google form link that is in the parent letter that you can go and sign up and enter your information, and then you will start receiving the notifications from Para that we would normally put out in the backpacks. It'll make it easier, and it will also be a quicker way for everybody to access it. We will continue with our Facebook page so that anybody who is already there can access our information that way. Once we have the parents signed up, we are going to probably close down our website, because then it's just redundancy. If you're able to access Class Tag on your phone or on your computer, then we don't need to post it somewhere else electronically as well. We're just going to keep it all in one spot. Our first event of the year at this point in time is going to be Picture Day. And Picture Day right now is scheduled for October 6th for the students who are going to be in person in Cohort 1, which is those students attending Monday and Tuesday, and October 8th for students in Cohort 2, which are those students attending Thursday and Friday. More information about this day will be going out via the Class Tag. So when you get that letter, please be sure to sign up for the app and to log into the Google form and fill it out so that we can make sure that you receive all the information. Some of the previous fundraisers that we've done in the past that has been tremendously successful for us has been our book fairs, our Riley Night Out, which is a parent function mid-year, and our fun run. This year, we anticipate that everything is going to be very different. We do not anticipate having an in-person book fair this fall, so we are in the process of looking into what kind of fundraisers we can have. We are looking at a virtual book fair. We're also looking at a virtual Miss Chocolate. Nothing has been set yet because we're still trying to figure out what's going to be best for the parents, but we just want to give you a heads up that some of these things are out there and you might see it. If you have ideas, please send out your ideas, because we're open to everything at this point in time. We encourage you to join us on these monthly meetings. If for nothing else, to put an earbud in and just hear what is going on. It is your opportunity to be involved in your child's education, and it's an opportunity for you to have your voice heard. So please join us on these monthly meetings. Be there to listen, be there to share. However, whatever capability you can have, whatever time you have, we welcome you. This year, we are going to recruit very hard for officers for next year. Right now, out of the officers that we have, only one will remain for next year. The rest of us will be graduating out with our children, as they're all in 4th grade. So we would like anybody who is interested to let us know, so that maybe you could see what we're doing or see how we're doing it. And this year, we are in need of a treasurer. If anybody is so willing to take on that role, I myself was a treasurer for 2 years and can show you everything and anything you need to know. It might be a good year to learn, because there will probably be a lot less activity as far as that's concerned. But I want to give you our email address. This way, if anybody has ideas, suggestions, comments, questions, or concerns, or if you're interested in being the treasurer for this year, please reach out to us. Our email address is Riley, R-I-L-E-Y, para, @gmail.com. And again, we want to open up the lines of communication. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have their voice heard. There was one other thing I wanted to add. Just bear with me for 1 second. Email, Facebook will be up there. Oh, yearbook. We will be, of course, working on the yearbook this year, and Leslie is going to be in charge of that. However, we do need other parents to help out. Again, please use the email address if you're interested in partaking in that, because we will need parents to do this going forward in the next coming years. And again, it's a great year to sit with us. It's a great year to learn about it. So with that being said, I wish you, your children, a tremendous school year. These teachers have worked very hard. The administrators have worked very hard. I want to give a shout out to them and tell them how much we appreciate all the work that you have put into this for Thursday to be our first day. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again, but there we go. Can everybody see that again? Yes. Thumbs up. So the Parents Association, you're automatically a participant in the Parents Association. They're great. They do so many great things for the school. I encourage you to get involved with that. Transportation Department, we have Colette and Let from the Transportation Department. If your child is, if you're having problems with transportation, you can call transportation at 631-369-6720. We want to make sure that you have the color-coded tag on your child's backpack every day. When they come in for the first day, there'll be many people greeting them. We want to make sure that they are comfortable, and we want to make sure they get to the right place. So on the tag, you're going to either have a blue tag if you're cohort 1 for Monday and Tuesday, or the yellow tag for cohort 2 for Thursday and Friday. And on those tags will be a dot, a colored dot, which will tell you which classroom 2, 3, or 5 that your child belongs in. In addition, if you're putting your child on the bus, you should really put them on the bus from the first day of school if the child is taking the bus. And if the child is being picked up, you can send an email to Riley, pickup@riverhead.net, and to your child's teacher. It's their first name dot last name @riverhead.net, and you'll know that teacher's name after they're placed in the classroom. If your child is being picked up periodically, you would have a Riley pickup@riverhead.net email. You must send the email before 2:45 if you're picking them up periodically. If you're picking your child up every day, there's a form that you have to fill out, and anybody who's picking up the child, we would need a copy of their identification so that the child will be safely sent home with the correct people. And an email should always be sent to the child's teacher regardless, just letting them know whether they're going to be picked up or if there's a different arrangement. The bus garage must be notified if it applies to busing as well. And again, the bus garage 369-6720. This presentation is going to be posted on our website, so you'll be able to go back and look at the presentation. At this point, I'd like to turn this presentation over to the kindergarten classroom teachers. Mrs. Siddick.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're very excited to meet your little ones, even in all these kind of crazy times that we're going through. Together, we're gonna make the best of everything. So as Mrs. Grimm said, this year, all of the children will be receiving free breakfast or lunch if you choose. Just please let your child's teacher know if you would like for your child to eat breakfast every day or lunch every day or what have you. So just let us know that so we can, you know, do it that way. So that's as far as school lunch. Make sure that you talk to your child also about if they're going to be getting a school lunch and or breakfast, just so that they know, and go over the menu with them so that they are comfortable with what they're going to be receiving at school. Every month you'll get a new calendar home, which will have all of the lunch choices on it so that you can talk with your child about what they'd like to try or what they'd like to have. Healthy snack every day with a drink, a water or a juice, a water bottle or a juice box. There's no water fountains available this year, so a drink is essential. You must send one every day because they will be thirsty. Okay, so the children will be having a specials music, art, library, and gym. On gym days, they must wear sneakers and comfortable clothes. Your child's teacher will send you out a special schedule once they're placed with their correct class and the special schedule is all set up. This is just our curriculum in a day. We do a readers and writers workshop. We have phonics, grammar, math, science, which is a Nat Geo program, social studies, and there will be virtual days on your child's off days that they're not coming to the building. Make sure on the virtual days that your child logs in to complete their work daily, as that will be the way the attendance is taken. Also, for the virtual login, your child is going to be getting a QR code for Clever. That is how you will log in to all the programs. I know in kindergarten, we're going to be using a virtual platform called Seesaw. Our teachers got very comfortable with it last year when we were forced to, you know, make a choice. We had the time to kind of look at what would be most kid-friendly for our little ones. And Seesaw definitely is. Children will be able to record things for their teacher to hear. We'll be able to see them. So it's really a great platform. But in order to log in to anything, they're going to get a QR code and you're going to do it through Clever. So we will help you through that as soon as we have the codes. This is just an example of a daily schedule. It's a very busy day. It's a long day. Your little ones are going to get home. They're going to be so tired. So the buses arrive. After buses arrive, children come in. They unpack. They'll do some sort of morning work. We'll take attendance. They'll do a lunch count, which is when your child would choose if they were buying lunch or had a lunch in their lunchbox. So something you can practice before the first day is opening the lunchbox, deciding, okay, what's lunch, what's snack, and just practicing opening up those things by themselves. Of course, there is support staff that will help them through during the first few weeks. But just to practice those things. Then we have a reading workshop time. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Writer's workshop, then lunch. After lunch is like math, then a special area. Phonics and or grammar, they alternate during the week. Science and or social studies also alternates. And then at the end of the day, we kind of wind down with a snack, a socially distant playtime, and pack up and get ready to go home. So things that you can do to help your child transition into kindergarten. Washing hands, for 20 seconds with soap, bubbling and scrubbing nice and hard. I usually tell the kids to sing their ABCs or happy birthday song while they wash. Wearing their masks appropriately, and then putting them on and taking them off appropriately. So by not touching the face, but getting those loops and popping them on their ears. And just keeping socially distant. I know it's hard with the little ones, but just to kind of explain to them that, you know, this is your personal space, put your arms out, and, you know, you shouldn't be touching anyone. That's, you know, keep your hands to home and keep some personal space around you. Practice things like dressing themselves, pulling up pants. I know belts are kind of tricky when they have to use the bathroom. So practice the things that they're going to wear to school that it is easy for them to kind of navigate and get them on and off themselves. Practice, you know, using bathroom, flushing toilet, all those kinds of things. Putting on shoes, practice tying. They don't have to tie, but just that's a good skill to start practicing now at this age. Take your child to a public bathroom. The flusher is very, very loud in a public toilet. Boys, daddy, take your boy to a urinal, learn how to learn how to use that. It's good to just do a public bathroom trip to kind of see how it's different from the bathrooms that we have at home. I went over the lunchbox, backpack, just practice zipping, unzipping. Anything that you want your child's teacher to see, make sure it's in their folder, because their folders will be checked every day. As far as going through backpacks, that's a little bit harder, but the folder we take out and it is checked every day. So make sure anything important for us is in the folder. Label, label, label everything, clothes, folders, label it all. So at home, you can practice things like counting your way through the day, play games with your child like Candyland or Sorry, and just practice that turn taking, sharing, the concept of winning and losing. Read books with your child every day. That's probably the most important thing you can do, is read to your child. And then after reading, talk about the book. What was your favorite part? Tell me what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, what happened at the end. Just conversations with your kids, it builds their vocabulary, and it's just so important to do. Play games like I Spy, with colors, numbers, letters, shapes. It's fun. You can do it when you're driving in the car, running errands, in the grocery store. Well, I don't know if anyone's really taking their kids to the stores, but you can. Those are things that you can do just about in your daily routine. And like I said, again, just to repeat, label, label, label everything. Backpack, lunchbox, clothes, you know, sweatshirt, if you put an extra sweatshirt, because we're not sharing any personal items. All children will have their own separate box of supplies, and that will do to, you know, limit germs and exposure to everything. And again, any communication is key, especially this year. So anything, don't ever feel that it's silly, a silly question, or if you're stuck on something, please, please, please email your teacher, or call the school, or send a note in the folder. Just know that we're here for you and your children, and that anything that you need or have a question about, feel free. Don't ever feel that it's a silly question. Feel free to reach out to us, and we will be more than happy to help you in any way that we can.
Thank you, Mrs. Siddick. So just to continue on, and just to reiterate what Mrs. Siddick said, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to call us, email us. That's what we're here for. There are, if you look at the bottom of your screen, I know that there's some questions coming in while we're finishing up the presentation. If you have a question, there's either at the bottom or the top of the screen, whichever device you're using, depending on, you can type in a question, and at the end, we'll be answering any of your questions. At this point, you should have received a letter in the mail. The letter in the mail is notifying you that your child's classroom color and the cohort, and any additional school supplies that are needed at the start of the school year. There's a small list there. And once your child gets their classroom teacher after the screening, there will be a letter from your classroom teacher and also any additional supplies that you might need. So after the screening process, like I said, you'll get a welcome letter. You'll also receive information about Clever and an online application. That's the online application for kindergarten. That's what Mrs. Siddick was saying about the QR code. So you'll get all of that information. Also on the first day, you'll be receiving information on how to communicate with the classroom teacher that they're placed with at this point, and then after they're placed in the final classroom, you will get a letter from that teacher. This is very important.
Sorry, Mrs. Grimm.
Yes,
Could I just pop in and tell them about like the live check-ins?
absolutely. Go ahead.
So you're going to be, we will be available depending on who your child's teacher is. There will be a time that we will give you where the teacher will be available, like in this kind of setting where you would see us on the screen for a live, like a live Google Meet. It's going to be pretty much for kindergarten. It's going to be like a check-in for you to check in with us. If you have questions about anything or something that your child is doing or online learning, that'll be the time that you will be able to talk to us, and we will be sending out those times as soon as we know where your child is placed. So that's what we'll use our Google Meets for, as like a kind of like a check-in time for you to touch base with us.
Thank you. These are all very important things. On the first day of school, you received in the mail an emergency contact sheet. All of those sheets should come in on the first day of school. On that emergency contact sheet, if anybody is picking up your child other than yourself, you need to include them on that emergency contact sheet. Make sure to send the first day of school with your child your cell phone number and your email so that we can communicate with you. The communication is so important with your child's teacher and the school. So this is how the teacher will communicate with you through your, your phone number, your home phone number, your cell phone number, or your email, or if you have a work number that you would prefer, the best way that we can get in touch with you. If you're picking up your child, as I said before, this is really important every day. You'll need to send a copy of the identification of the person picking up your child, if it's you or if it's somebody else. And like we said before, if you're picking up your child periodically, you'll need to send an email to rileypickup@riverhead.net and the classroom teacher before 2:45. Because every student will be on the buses, we need to know before 2:45. There will be no exceptions to that rule because we want everybody to be safe. And at this point, I'm going to stop sharing and take the questions. So Dr. Casamassa, can you read us the first question, please? We can't hear you. You're muted.
We can't hear you. All right. Do you want to come down here and use my computer? So, Ms. Graham, I can start off while Dr. Casamassa relocates, if that's okay.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, so our first question is, what will happen with kindergarten screening for remote learning children?
The remote teachers will be contacting you and discussing that with you.
When are we supposed to get the mailing, as it did not come today?
If you don't get it by tomorrow, you're free to call the main office and we can give you all that information. And hopefully you will get it tomorrow, but if you don't, please call the main office and we can always have you stop by and get a copy of anything that you need.
And then there were a couple of questions, a couple people asked the same question, and they were wondering if there was a phone number that they can call. Which phone number should they call if they don't get the letter tomorrow?
631-369-6805. That was 369-6805.
And then is there a day that we can bring in supplies?
All the supplies will have to be sent in with the students. If you want to send in supplies a little bit at a time, if the children can't carry them, that would be fine too. Due to this situation, no parents will be allowed in the building. If you need to make an appointment to see one of us, you're welcome to make an appointment ahead of time so that we can keep everybody safe.
So the next one's up there on the left.
How does pickup? Oh, okay.
Yes, you didn't have to.
Okay.
How does pickup work? Do we go to the same side of the building? Will the students be waiting outside?
It depends on if you're picking your child up every day. So if you haven't done it before, you can go to the parent parking lot and pick up your child. If you sent in an email, you would pick up your child on the west side of the building. If you're picking your child up every day and you filled out the form and all of your ID has been submitted, then you'll be picking your child up at the east end of the building. There will be marks indicating where parents will socially distance by both sides of the building. So you would go on and stand 6 feet away from the next person. You'll see the people standing there. If there isn't a mark for you to stand on, you need to wait in your car until there's a mark for you to stand on.
Okay. Will all students be reassigned to a new teacher after screening, or is there a chance they will remain in the same class?
There's a possibility that they'll remain in the same class. After the screening is done, we'll make an assessment and see if we need to move any children around.
It says, I have not received a call from transportation with bus information.
You can call, you should have received some information in the mail from transportation, but you certainly can call transportation. That's 631-369-6720.
Okay, what about school pictures for remote learning children?
We are working on trying to see how we can do that. We're working with our Parents Association, and we will give that information to our remote teachers, and they will let you know how we're going to handle that.
Can you please provide the supply list on this webinar, since many have not received the packets in the mail?
We can post the kindergarten supply list online.
Which parking lot is the parent parking lot?
The parent parking lot is at the west side of the building.
Should we send in supplies for on the first day of school, or wait for the students to be placed in their class?
The supply list that went home with your letters, all of the kindergarten teachers will be using those supplies. And once the child is placed in a particular teacher's class, that they will give you a list of the remainder of supplies that your child will need. So
And-
go ahead, Marissa.
This box, this little space saver box, it's like at Walmart for like 87 cents. I think this is the most important thing that you should send in on the first day, because this way we could start by putting, individual supplies in here. So one of these boxes with their name on it, I think is most important.
Any of the kindergarten teachers have any other input? with supplies.
Okay, next question. What day does remote learning start?
It should start on the first day of school, which is this Thursday. You should have gotten, you will be contacted by the classroom teacher, the remote classroom teacher.
I would say crayons are huge too. If you can send in crayons on the first day and that box, that would be really, really helpful. Thank you.
I know that in my classroom, I'm going to be taking all of the supplies that that child brings, putting their name on a big bag and putting all the supplies in there. So that if they have to be moved to another classroom, it can easily just be brought to the next classroom as needed.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna do that, keep their stuff separate and labeled clearly so that they can take it with them if they are moved.
Right. And have the ability to utilize the stuff that they need in the class for the assignments and the tests that we're going to be doing.
Okay, next question. What is the average in-class class size?
It's about 10 students right now, 10 or less on the cohort days.
What, when can we drop off the school supplies? We already answered that. Oh, she's saying there is too much for my child to carry on the bus on the first day of school.
Right, so you can send in a little at a time. You don't have to send in all the supplies all at once. So every day you can send in a little bit more, but what the teachers were saying was that the plastic box and the crayons are the two most important things to send in. So that would be the first thing to send in.
Okay, the next question has to do with the Chrome. Is there an update for the Chromebooks and the tablets for students? I don't know if that was covered already.
Yeah, so kindergarten students will be, if you're in need of an iPad, we're planning on distributing the iPads to kindergarten students on the 9th. I think that's Wednesday, the 9th, next week. This Wednesday, the remote students, if you requested a device, you should have had a phone call if you're doing all remote. If you haven't, then you can certainly call our office and we'll help you out with that.
What time does the school day end?
3:30.
Okay, I think that is the last question.
Anybody else have any questions before we sign off?
Oh, wait, there's a question. Will my fourth grader be able to walk my kindergartner to class the first day?
Yeah, I don't see any problem with the fourth grader walking the kindergartner to class, yes.
Okay.
So we want to all thank you for attending our kindergarten orientation. We wish we could meet all of you in person. We're so excited to see all of your children. We cannot wait till they come to see us. If you ever have any other questions, please contact us. I want to thank all of our panelists for joining us today and our PTO. Thank you, Para, for always being there and helping us out with everything. So thank you, everybody, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the first days of school. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
That's the right